Well, in the Sensory 3, we're going to talk about the auditory system. Your auditory system, including the outer ear, including your pinna and your auditory canal, your middle ear, including your eardrum, tympanic membrane, and 3 ossicles. These 3 are the smallest bone you can find in your body. And your inner ear. So 3 parts. And the middle ear, you have the eardrum and 3 ossicles. Their function is to conduct the sound. So your outer ear, its function is to send the sound in. And the first one responds to the sound is tympanic membrane. That's your eardrum. So tympanic membrane gonna move. It's gonna push those 3 ossicles. And gonna push the ossicles, the stapes, they are the ossicles touch the inner ear, so it will push in and it will send the signal from the outside to the inside. And this one called the eustachian tube, this one go to your throat. It's for the pressure balance. And this distance is shorter in babies because babies' heads are smaller. So it's easier for the bacteria to go from the throat to here, and it will cause the middle ear infection. So the middle ear infection happens more frequently in child than adult because of the structure. And the sounds come from the outside, will go through your ear and touch your tympanic membrane, and it will send to the inner ear. So your inner ear, inside you have the liquid. So you will push the liquid flow. It will flow in, flow out, so the outside signal can transfer to the inside. And you found the auditory system, everything is mechanical movement. Your inner ear, you have 2 parts. We're going to spend a lot of time talk about this. That's the cochlea. That's the one responsible for sound. And this part called the vestibule and semicircular canal. This is for balancing. So your inner ear have 50% auditory function. The other 50% is for balancing function. I'll leave this table to you. And the sounds, it create is the movement of the media. Media is usually the air, and sometimes it's water. So when you swing, you can still hear the sound. It will move in a wave. And the sound have 2 components. One is frequency, and we also call it pitch. And the second one is intensity, also called the loudness. So we have 2 components. And the unit is called the decibel. Decibel is a log scale. So every time you change from 0 to 10 to 20 to 40, actually it increased 10 times. And that's your inner ear, that's your cochlea. And let's look at cochlea. So in the cochlea is filled with liquid. And your middle ear gonna send the wave to the inner ear, so the liquid gonna flow in and flow out. And in the inner ear, you have the hair cells. They're like the rods and cones in the retina. So their job is to transfer the sound into the neurotransmitter release. And that's your inner ear structure. And when you cut the cochlea, that's how it looks like. So most of them are filled with liquid. So this tube called the scala vestibular, and it's filled with liquid. And this one called the cochlear duct, still filled with liquid. Okay, this place is like the retina in the eye, so called the organ of Corti, also called the spiral organ. So it's like the retina. Its job is to transfer the physical stimulus into the neuronal signal. And the hair cells, they are sandwiched by 2 membranes, tectorial membrane and basilar membrane. So this is the structure of organ of Corti, also called the spiral organ. And let's look at the organ of Corti. And that's the hair cells. They were sandwiched by 2 membranes, tectorial membrane and basilar membrane. And when the cells move in, the liquid gonna push. Upper part liquid move in, the bottom part liquid move out. It's like the hair cells being sandwiched by two membranes, and these two membranes, one move in, one move out, so they're gonna bend the hair cells. That's how they activate the hair cells. And this is the hair cells. The endolymph, that's the liquid. Endolymph actually have high potassium. And when they bend the hair cells have the mechanically gated ion channel. So when the ion channel open, potassium actually flow in. So potassium flow in, still positive charge flow in because it's high outside, low inside, they flow in, gonna depolarize the cell. So that's the hair cells. You have the mechanically gated ion channel, and when they start to move, they will open the potassium channel. When they open the channel, potassium this time is high outside. That's not normal, right? This time is high outside, low inside, so it's gonna flow in. And once it flow in, it depolarizes the hair cell. And when the hair cells depolarized, they will open the calcium channel. So calcium flow in. Calcium will trigger the vesicle fusion and neurotransmitter release. And the ganglia cells will pick up those neurotransmitters and generate action potential. And when they move to the other direction, they close the ion channel. So no depolarization, no neurotransmitter release. Because of that, they can perfectly code the sound. And the sounds move in, again, show you from the outside to the middle ear, and they're gonna push the inside part, eventually transduct to here. So everything in the auditory system is mechanical. And when you hear the sound, you can hear different frequency of sound. The rhythm is on the whole cochlea. Now they extend it out. And for explanation purpose, it should be coiled back. And you found the whole cochlea, the basement membrane. That's where the hair cells grow. And all of them, you have hair cells. And different frequency of sound, they've been picked up by different populations of hair cells. So if you have a sound come with 4 different frequencies, it turns out 1, 2, 3, 4 different groups of hair cells will respond. And that's why you are able to analyze different frequencies, pick up different frequencies at the same time. And our auditory frequency is from 20 Hertz to 20 kHz. So that's our auditory range. So you have hair cells responsible for different frequencies. And that's your basement membrane. It turns out you have different population of hair cells analyze different frequencies. So you can hear different frequencies at the same time. And this shows you the same concept. So different frequencies were analyzed by different population of hair cells. And this video shows you the same thing. I will leave it to you. And from your organ of Corti, this signal will generate action potential. It will go through your midbrain and go to the thalamus, from the thalamus to your auditory cortex. And that's your auditory pathway. Through your cranial nerve number 8, vestibular cochlea. So the big function of your inner ear, auditory. Now let's quickly look at the other 50% of your inner ear. That's the vestibular sense. And this sense is for balancing. This is the sense you are not aware of it until you lose it. So that's the vestibular system, including the vestibule and 3 semicircular canal. And their function is detect balancing, detect your body movement. And you can be static or you can move. So every time you move, this time it's not liquid, it's like a rock called otolith. Otolith is mainly made of calcium. So still they move. And when they move, they can bend the hair cells. So in your vestibular vestibular and semicircular canal, you have still like the hair cells, and the otolith is gonna move, activate those hair cells, so they're able to send a signal and to your brain. And when you start to move your head, because the gravity gonna pull the otolith, so they're able to bend the hair cells. And in the semicircular canal part, they have the one detector to detect the angular acceleration. And the structure called the ampullae. So that's when you rotate your head and you're able to bend the ampullae. And they will send a signal when you rotate your body or your head, they're able to send a signal to your brain. They also go through the auditory nerve, the cranial nerve number 8, and to your auditory cortex. But let's look at the output. So the output of your hair cells, they will go to your cerebral cortex. But a big output also go to your vestibular tract, control your skeletal muscle, go to your cerebellum, and we learned in the brain cerebellum is for balancing, and go to your eye movement. Let's talk about why we need to go to this area. Because a big function of the equilibrium pathway is making you be able to balance your body. When you are balancing your body, when your body is moving, it's important for this kind of signal go to coordinate your muscles so you're able to balance, coordinate your cerebellum, that's the balance function. And you need to be able to coordinate your eye so you're able to see when your body are moving. When this part don't coordinate well, you feel dizzy. So a big output of the equilibrium pathway is go to this part, not go to your cortex, go to the cerebellum, go to your eye, and go to coordinate your muscle. Okay, that's it.